What up, everybody? It's your boy Sack the King up in this motherfucker, man. Back with another life story. As y'all can see in the title, a Palestinian woman broke my heart, man. Now, this is the only time I believe I've ever got my heart broke. Like, you know the feeling, like traditional feeling, like, man, I'm heartbroken. Like, now, mind you, I fucked with hundreds of women in my lifetime. I got kids by 3. And there's been women in my life, right? My kids' moms included, who have done shit to me that hurt my heart. Like, damn, like, you would do me like that? Like, damn, that's how we rocking? You know what I'm saying? Like, and not to say that I've been a saint or nothing like that, but, you know, I say all that because, like, I've only gotten my heart broke one time where I just really felt like my heart was broken, man. You know what I'm saying? It was behind the girl that you see in the thumbnail, man. Yes, your boy Sack the King, as player as I am, man. Hey, man, I've got my heart broken one time to where I've actually felt like, damn, my heart is really broken. Like, I'm really fucking broken. You know what I mean? But before I get into that story, man, make sure you hit that subscribe button below so you can be the first to know and help the channel grow. I'm giving away $100 to a random subscriber once I reach 1,000. I think we at like 645 right now. So, man, if you watching my stories, man, you might as well hit that subscribe button. It's free. You feel me? Now, this is a story that I was going to tell y'all eventually, you know, in life stories. I got a million of them, you know what I mean? It was on the list. I keep a list in my phone of all the stories that I'm going to tell. But the reason why I'm telling this story, because if you've been under a rock, Palestine and Gaza, Gaza, which is in Palestine, and Israel, which is really a country, you know, I'm not going to get too political about this because it's gonna just overshadow the story that I'm trying to tell, right? But anyways, I'm telling this story now because, you know, Palestine and Israel are once again at each other's throats, and it looks like it's getting ramped up a little bit more than it has in the past, right? So it just made me think about this story. Now, before I tell the story in its entirety, I remember this female used to tell me about just the bad shit that her family had to go through in Palestine and as Palestinian people. And some of the stuff that she would tell me was just like awful. You know what I mean? Like, but I can imagine because I was in the Iraq war in the beginning of 2003 and we were committing all kind of war crimes over there. You feel me? Like, it's a lot of people that should be locked up for war crimes for the shit that we did in Iraq. And like, I don't feel proud about any of my service in Iraq or nothing at all. You know what I mean? Because Bush lied and people died. Like I said in that 9/11 video, changed my life. Go back and watch that, right? So anyways, man, let's fast forward. I just say it's all relevant because she's Palestinian and her whole family's Palestinian. And that's what's going on in the world. So since I speak about current events, which I'm not even going to get into that right now, I will tell you this story, you know what I'm saying? Because it's somewhat relevant since she's Palestinian and she used to tell me the same kind of atrocities that were committed against her people, right? So this story takes place in 2015, right? So me and my son's mom, you know, we used to break up and make up all the time, as y'all can see in some of these other stories. And this just happened to be a time where she wanted to move out because she didn't want to pay some of the bills. We had just moved into an apartment, and like 1 month after we moved into the apartment, she wanted to bounce. All right, so cool. You want to bounce? Fuck it. I'm a persevere. I'm a figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, we had found out that I got to give y'all a little bit of background to this story, right? We had found out that she was pregnant in March, right? We found out she was pregnant in March. Now, this is a time where me and my son's mom, she got pregnant at a time where we should have been over with. Like, if you go and watch that story, my side bitch caught me slipping. I think that's what I titled it. Like, this is like right after that, right? Okay, so this falls into after that. So me and my son's mom, we get back together or whatever. And, you know, she finds out that she's pregnant. And a couple months later, we get an apartment. No, we get an apartment like that next month, like April, right? So by May, the end of May, sometime middle of May, she just moves out. You know what I mean? I come home one day and all her shit is gone. That used to be her MO. Like, when she didn't feel like paying no rent, or she wanted to go back and live up under her mama or her daddy or something, I would just come home and all her shit would be gone. Like, it's happened plenty of times. You feel me? The last time that it happened was like 2020, and that was the end of it. You feel me? And we still good friends to this day because we got a kid together, and we get along better now in the last 3 years than we probably did the whole 13 years that we were together, right? So, longer story short, man, she's out the house. All right, cool. So I remember being on Facebook one day, right? And I have this homegirl named Shantae, right? She's a dope ass motherfucking artist, right? What's her name on Instagram? I'm gonna give you a plug. It's Tasty Art. TASTYART. I think that's how you can find one of her art pages. I forget what her regular Instagram is, but her art is on her art page. Hey, this chick is one of the dopest artists I've ever seen. She can paint whatever, right? So I bring her up because she posted something on Facebook like ladies something, like ladies get together, and all of them had on like royal blue. Now, if you know me, man, hey man, royal blue is like my favorite fucking color. You feel me? I'm always in some type of blue. You feel me? So anyway, I remember hitting on her Facebook like, man, who was that one right there in the middle? Like, she bad, you know what I mean? And I remember another girl that was in the picture, Mexican chick, chimed in, was like, which one he talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, you know. And Shantae was like, yeah, I'll hook you up. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, hook me up with that one in the blue. But all of them got on blue. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of joking around. So she hit me in the DM, was like, yeah, that's my homegirl from the Bay. You know what I'm saying? She was like, she a little different than the girls that you like. I'm like, I don't care. Like, she bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, this girl is bad to me. So I was like, man. She was like, yeah, she's like Arab or something. I'm like, shit. I can pass as being Arab, my nigga. So, you know what I mean? So we're joking around. She's like, yeah, shit, I'll tell her, you know, whatever. So longer story short, she give me the bitch line. I don't know if she gave me her phone number or I hit her on the Facebook, and I'm like, what's up? You know, that was you that I was talking about, because the Mexican girl started chiming in, which they're all friends, right? She started chiming in thinking I'm talking about her, but I'm like, I'm not talking about her. So I got at the chick. I think I got into her Facebook inbox, right? So I'm like, man, I was talking about you. Like, you hella beautiful. Like, what's your name? Where you from? Woo, woo, woo. Longer story short, we start conversating. We exchange phone numbers, right? So we exchange phone numbers, and she's like, yeah, you know, telling me about herself. Like, I live in the Bay. I'm from Hayward. Her name is Nariman, Nareman, Nariman Harada. That's how you say her name, Harada, Harrah. And I remember that because it's spelled the same way, frontwards and backwards, Harrah. And then if you spell it backwards, Harrah. Harada, you know what I mean? That's how you say it in Arabic, Harada, Nariman Harada, you know what I mean? I used to just call her Neri. So anyways, man, so longer story short, man, soon as we got on the phone with each other, like, we FaceTiming every single day for like hours, bro, like hours, you know what I'm saying? So finally, after a week goes by of us FaceTiming for hours, she like, you want to go on a date? I'm like, yeah. So she's like, all right, well, where can we meet that's in between Sac and in between the Bay? And I'm like, shit, like Fairfield or something? Bro, the first place that she wanted to go on a date was the bookstore, my nigga. I'm like, this is different, bro. She want to go on a date at the bookstore. So I'm like, whatever, bro. You know, like I said, I've been talking to her. Her conversation already attracted me more than her looks. You know what I mean? So I meet her at the bookstore, man. And it was kind of like a test for her because she had heard a lot about me too. You know, I'm a wild nigga, you know, especially 2015 before my son was born. I'm really wilding, you know what I mean? Like, that little nigga changed my life. So it was kind of like a test, you know what I mean? Like, I really wanted to see if you would show up to the bookstore and if you'd be interested in stuff that I like to read. She used to like to read, man. She was like an avid reader, you know what I mean? And I was like, no, it's cool. Like, I just wanted to get to know you, spend some time with you. Like, it didn't have to be nothing crazy, you know what I mean? So anyway, like, I'd say after that, like, we just started kicking it. Like, any chance that we got to, she would drive from the Bay all the way to Sac most of the time, or she would come pick me up and I would go out to the Bay with her. And like, we was just like damn near inseparable, like, you know. And on top of like the sex being great, like, I liked her because she was college educated. She had a degree. You know, she had ambition and goals. Like, and we used to just talk about, like, we had some of the deepest conversations. Like, still to this day, like, I haven't had those kind of conversations with women. Now, mind you, I've had women since then. You know, since her, and we've had deep conversations and a deep connection. But it's just something about this woman still to this day. Like, it's like what I hear when people say they smoke crack and they chasing that high forever. You feel me? And they don't never get it again. It was like that. Like, the connection that we had built up over the months that we were together, and it was probably a total like 6 months, right? It was just like, let me see. Yeah, like 6 months we were together total, right? But within them 6 months felt like 6 years, bruh. Like still to this day, just talking about it, it just makes me feel kind of like nostalgic about the shit. You know what I'm saying? Because me and her had a really, really, really deep connection. It was just like more than physical. It was more, it might even been beyond mental. It was just like, it was like, I really felt, now mind you, I've had a lot of women before her, even badder women, had sex with even way finer women than her and after her. But it just felt like really this girl was like my real soulmate. Like, I really was meant to meet her, you know what I mean? And just every time we were around each other, we just had a great time. Now, mind you, like I said, I've had great times with plenty of other women before and that, but it was just still to this day is just like, it's just not like that connection that we had, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, we were facing all kind of hurdles too. And that's probably why we were a little bit closer together, because remember that chick that I told y'all about that was in the comments, the Mexican chick, that was her friend. And she was hating. That bitch was hating. She was trying to dig up every kind of dirt she could find on me to tell this chick and try to fuck us over, because she's mad because I don't even remember her name. Because she was mad because I didn't fuck with her and I chose this chick and she was attracted to me, you know what I'm saying? And so she used to just like, all the time, the girl would come to my house and she'd be like, yeah, look at what she's saying. And she would show me, I'm like, bro, this bitch don't even know me. Like, the bitch don't even know me. How can she try to tell you this, that, and the other about me and she don't even know me? And then her dad, right? Hardline Palestinian. He wanted her to be with an Arab dude. So when she bring me home, she like, who is this nigga? You feel me? Like, this nigga ain't Arab. He look Arab, but I can tell when he talk, he is not Arab. You know, and she used to always tell me like, yeah, my dad wants me to be with an Arab bird. Now, when I met her mama was hella cool. Like, her mom was like we hit it off. Her mom was hella cool and open to the idea of her dating outside of her race and everything. You know what I'm saying? But then, you know, so we had her hating ass friend and her dad, which she was very close with, who she stayed with, you know, they stayed together. And then, but I'm like, bro, how is your dad gonna tell you that you need to be with an Arab dude when he got a whole girlfriend from the Philippines that he's over here Skyping every day? So I never understood that, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I just was like, that's kind of hypocritical, you know what I mean? But she didn't care. She wanted to be with me. Like, she wanted to be with me, right? Now, mind you, like I said, before we even met, we was FaceTiming every single day for hours. And I'm like, you know what? Just even the first week of us talking, I'm like, man, this might have the potential of being something or going somewhere. So I told her the truth. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I don't have any regrets in life, but if I could go back, maybe I might not have told her the truth about this, and I would have just let it play out how it was going to play out. But I mean, nah, I kept it way too real with her. And I told her from the jump, like, hey, listen, man, like, before this goes any further, our conversations is getting real deep, you know, like this might have been after I met her. I'm not sure. I think it was either before or after. No, it was before I met her, because I didn't want to waste her time, because we having like hella good conversation. And normally I would never tell no bitch like this, like, bitch, hey, get it how you live. You feel me? I'm not telling this bitch shit. Just like I said in one of my other stories about how my busted baby got pregnant by the weed man. Okay, this is around the same time frame, because I'm cutting off my busted baby because I'm getting real serious with Nairman. You know what I mean? And, you know, So like I said, I told y'all the obstacles from her side. Her dad and her friend is over here hating. You know, her dad is hating on the low. He's smiling in my face, but when she's by herself, he's like, you should be with an Arab guy. I want you to be with an Arab guy. Her friend is hating, trying to throw dirt on me. My family is over here lightweight tripping on me, and my friends is looking at me kind of funny because they all know my son's mom, and I've been with her for years, and we broke up. But I'm like, man, I'm over with her. Like, yeah, she's pregnant, but she left me. I didn't leave her. It's not like I kicked her out and for this bitch. Like, I didn't even start fucking with this bitch until after she moved out. You know what I'm saying? Me and my mom lightweight beefing about this shit. Like, we even went like a couple months without talking because, you know, my mom wasn't in agreement with this relationship. But like I said, all that kind of shit was making us like a little bit closer together. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, my ex-wife was over here. I don't understand this about my ex-wife. She used to just like try to find out who I was with. And her and my son's mom ended up texting this girl Facebook saying a whole bunch of shit about me. She's like, look at what they're saying. I don't even know these girls. And you know, But mind you, back to what I was saying. I told her from the jump that my son's mom was pregnant. I'm like, hey, look. I got somebody pregnant right now. We're not together, you know, we're not together, but I just want to put all these cards on the table because I kind of feel like if we keep talking, this is going to go somewhere. She was like, oh, wow, you got somebody pregnant. She's like, are y'all together? I'm like, nah, we're not together. Like, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Because it was over even before she got pregnant. You know what I mean? She just ended up getting pregnant in the process. You know what I mean? But she was like, you know what? She was like, if you're really interested in me, she told me this, like, if you're really interested in me, I don't care about that. You know what I mean? And as the months would go on, her actions outweighed her words. Like, you know, I used to always be like, man, are you sure you're cool with this situation? She's like, look, I'm down for you. I want you. Like, I've been waiting so long for somebody like you. You're like anybody else that I ever met in my life. And I felt the same way about her. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, for months and months, like 6 months, we were just damn near inseparable. Like anytime we got a chance to meet, she at my house or I'm over there in the Bay with her in Hayward. You know what I mean? And like we just built up this strong ass connection. We just have the deepest talks about life, about future, about everything you can think about. You know what I mean? And we was dealing with adversity. So that was bringing us closer together too. It was kind of like us against the world type shit. You feel me? And, you know, and this whole time she knows what's going on. She knows the situation. I'm giving her updates and she's like, you're not going to go back to her, are you? I'm like, nah, bro. Like me and you are lightweight talking about getting married. You know what I mean? And longer story short, man, I don't want to make this video too long. It's already at damn near 18 minutes. You know, my son had to be born at some time, right? So the night that my son's mom goes into labor, she was at my house. You feel me? They just called me out the blue and was like, hey, it's time, you know? So I left my house and I went to the hospital in her car. So I go, you know, my son's born. I'm happy. He's healthy, you know? And I go back to the house and she's like, you know, he's born. And I think like that is when like, the reality of it like kind of set in for her. It was like, damn, like this nigga really did just have a kid. Mind you, she knows that this is going on the whole 6 months that we together. And it, you know, we talked about it and it never was really a problem. She's like, listen, I'm down for you. Like I'm your girl. Like I know you've been straight up with me from the beginning and her actions matched her words, bro. Like there was never a time, and I'm a pretty smart nigga, and I can pick up on vibes where I felt like what would happen ended up happening. You know what I mean? But I always tell people there's two types of people: before something happens and after something happens. And what I mean by that is like before the baby is actually born, it's easy to be one type of person, and then when the baby is born, it's like, you know, shit could change, and it did, you know, and you know, it was just like. She after that she was like just not the same. It just wasn't the same. The vibe just wasn't the same as expected. But you know, I didn't think that it would be the way that it ended up being in the end. You know, because that was during the weekend. You know, I think maybe my son was born on a Saturday or a Sunday, but it was a weekend because she was at my house. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I used her car to drive to the hospital. But so she ended up going home. And then that whole week, it was like she was just tripping. Like, you know, I don't know if I could do this. I thought I could, but I don't know if I can. And I'm like, man, are you serious? Like, don't do this, man. Like, please don't do this, you know. And I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm gonna keep it a whole 1,000 with y'all. Like, I'm begging this bitch, like, please don't. Like, please do not leave me. Like, I want to be with you. Like, we can work this out. And like the whole week, she was just like, I just don't think I can do this, Chris. I'm sorry. Like, you know, and she ended up, so the week after my son was born, she came over one more weekend, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, hey, please just come over here and let's talk about this person to person. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just talk about this in person, not over the phone. And, you know, everything was cool. Like, you know, I thought everything was cool. That weekend she came and we had long ass talks for like 6 to 8 hours about this shit. And she was telling me shit like this, right? This is kind of like what kind of like lightweight turned me off. You feel me? She was like, well, we just need to get married. You know what I mean? Well, she was already telling me that shit before my son was born, like the months leading up, or like maybe a month before he was born. She was like, you know, you should just marry me. Let's just get married. Like that'll make me feel, what's the word for it? Like, I forget what the word is for it, but she was like, that secure. She was like, that'll make me feel secure as if we get married. But I'm just thinking like, even though me and my family's kind of beefing about the shit, even though my friends is kind of looking at me a certain way, which they never said nothing, but I could just tell the vibes, you feel me? It's just like, how would I look if I marry a woman who I only been with for like 5.5 months at this time, and I'm having a kid with somebody else? You know what I mean? Like, I just was worried too much about other people's opinions at the time. Now, if I was in that situation, I probably would have just said, fuck it. If that's what I got to do to save this relationship, then I'm willing to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I was really in love with this girl. Like, I was really, really, really in love with this girl, man. Like I was really in love with this girl. You know what I'm saying? And so like I said, you know what I mean? She came over that one last time, you know, and I thought everything was going to be cool. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I promised her, like, I only wanted to be with her. Oh, but this was another thing, like I said, that she was saying that was turning me off. She was like, why don't you just say that it's not yours? Like, why don't you just deny it? Like, and move to the Bay with me. That's what she was saying. Like, just move to the Bay with me and just say that that's not your kid. Pretty much, I mean, in a roundabout way, in so many words, I'm you know, paraphrasing that, but I was just thinking to myself, like, this is my child. I know it's my child. Like, I could never leave my kid for nobody. Like, I don't give a fuck how much in love I am with this girl. I would never leave my child for nobody. Like, my kid's gonna grow up one day and be like, damn, Dad, you did me like that. It's one thing if I go run off and marry her, but I'm gonna still be in my child's life. But she was telling me, and I think this is a reason why she ended up pulling the move that she did, is because that last weekend, she was like really like pushing the issue, like, just move to the Bay with me. Just move. Like, fuck this apartment. Just move to the Bay with me. That's how I'll feel like you're for real. And I've been faithful to my word the whole time with you, this whole time, which she was. Her actions was definitely speaking louder than her words. And she was down for me. And I never had any kind of inkling that she wasn't, you know what I mean? And I was just like, nah, I can't do that. Like, nah. And she was like, yeah, well, you should just deny the kid anyway. You're not sure. You know, I'm like, bro, that's my kid. She's like, you know, but that whole last weekend was like kind of like the ultimatum weekend, looking back, thinking about it, like even right now, it's like, if I would have moved to the Bay with her, we probably could have worked out a little bit more, but it's just like, I'm not willing to like just deny my kid for nobody. I don't give a fuck who it is. It could be fucking Virgin Mary come down and say, deny your kid. I'd tell that bitch to kick rocks. You know what I'm saying? But what happened is after that weekend, come that Monday, she blocked me from all of her social media, just out the blue. She just blocked me from all her social media. She rocked me to sleep because she had me thinking that it was all cool. Okay, we're going to work it out, Chris. We still going to make this work. I'm down for you, whatever. And then she left and I'm like, cool. And then like the very next day, I noticed I'm blocked from all social media. So I tried to call her. She changed her phone number on me, bruh. You know, she changed her phone number on me. And, you know, like I was fucked up after that. Like she blocked me from her email. I couldn't email her no more. I didn't have no kind of like contact with her. I had forgotten her address, so I couldn't really just drive over there and see her. I knew kind of like where she stayed, like by the Trader Joe's in Hayward, but you know, I wasn't finna trying to go on no dummy mission looking for her. But I just remember like that shit really fucked me up. Like, bro, like you know how like they describe heroin addicts when they don't have no heroin no more. I used to sell Oxycontins, right? And I remember these people used to call me like, please, I'm hurting, please. And I ain't never did heroin before, but I've heard stories of people how they do heroin and they're trying to kick heroin and how it just hurts, you know what I mean? And you know, that's the only thing that I can really equivalate how I felt about it to. Is like a drug, like she was like a drug or something, and it was just took away from me like that, like really just took away like that, like overnight, you know what I mean? And like, damn, like I was so sick about that shit. Like, you know, Neo, like, I'm so sick of love songs. Like, that's how I was feeling about that shit. Like, I think I just locked myself in my apartment for like a whole week straight. Like, I was so fucked up just there on the couch, just like I was trying to kick heroin or something. Like, you know, it really fucked me up. Like, damn. And I think the thing about it is like, I didn't never have no closure to that. Still to this day, I haven't had any closure to that. You know what I'm saying? And I just remember the way that I felt about her, you know, and it wasn't for a long time, man. Like, I'ma just be real. Like, even to this day, like it hasn't been a day where I haven't thought about her. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit fucked me up for a long time. That shit fucked me up for a lot of years, man. And if I didn't have my son, you know, as a bright light in my life, like that shit would have probably fucked me up for a little bit longer than what it did. And, you know, just talking about it right now and just thinking about how I felt back then, just even right now, is just making me feel a little weird in a certain kind of way. Because what I didn't tell y'all is that happened the week my son was born, November 15th, 2015. And I seen her the very next weekend. Well, she cut off all communication from me. And I remember like, I just didn't have any way to vent how I felt to anybody. Like, I don't even think anybody who's in my life right now or who know me back then, or nobody knows, even unless they're watching this right now, how I felt. Like, and just talking about it now, it just make me feel like I don't think I ever got over that shit. Like, because there was no closure, right? And the thing about it that makes it worse, right, is that I found out that happened in November. I found out in March that her father arranged her to get married, and they got married. She got married to an Arab dude, and they're still married to this day. So I'll give her that. 8 years later, 7 years later, they're still married. She has a kid now. And, I wish Nariman Harara the best. I still haven't had any contact with her. And I've reached out to her in different ways over the years, and just, to no avail. And I never got closure for that, and I can honestly say, like, that's, out of all the women that I've dealt with, out of all the shit I've dealt with women, like, that was the one girl right there who, like, broke my heart. Like, if I ever had my heart broke, like I said, there's been women that have done shit that have hurt my heart, but, I've made up with them, or, we've gotten past that shit. But with her, it was like, there was no closure, even still to this day. And hey, that's all I got to say, man. Hit that subscribe button below so you can be the first to know and help the channel grow.